The Prometheus Protocol, A. Frank Murray Investigation, Season 2, Episode 10. The finale, narrated by Frank Murray, Private Investigator. The name's Frank Murray, Private Investigator. 16 years in this business, and I've faced killers, conspiracies, and monsters wearing human faces. But I'd never faced the end of humanity itself. This was that fight. Catalina Island rose in the Pacific, like a promise and a threat. 22 miles from Los Angeles, tourist destination by day, and tonight, the location of the most important raid in human history. Sarah and I stood on the deck of a Coast Guard cutter, watching the island approach through the darkness. Around us, Catherine Walsh coordinated the largest FBI operation I'd ever witnessed. 60 agents, 20 support personnel, tactical teams from 3 field offices, and one very nervous former criminal who'd agreed to guide us in. Daniel Webb stood apart from everyone, smoking a cigarette with shaking hands. "You okay?" I asked him. "I'm betraying people who can kill me with a phone call," he said. "How okay would you be?" "Fair point. Frank, you should know, even with my information, this is suicide. The Prometheus Circle doesn't leave anything to chance. They'll have enhanced guards, possibly subjects modified for combat. And if they know we're coming, I interrupted. They've always known. That's what they do. Stay 3 steps ahead. But this time, we're bringing everything we have. Will it be enough? It has to be. The estate where the Prometheus Circle was meeting sat on the west side of Catalina, isolated from the tourist areas. According to Webb, the property had been purchased 6 months ago through a shell company and renovated into a fortress. The main house could accommodate 30 people comfortably. Underground levels had been added. Labs, secure communications, possibly holding cells for new test subjects. Catherine's tactical teams would breach from 3 sides simultaneously. Sarah and I would go in with the main team, searching for evidence and any Prometheus Circle leadership we could capture. Webb would stay on the boat. He'd given us everything he knew, but we weren't trusting him in the field. "Remember," Catherine addressed her teams, "these people have resources beyond anything we've faced. Enhanced subjects with neural control, possible remote-triggered weapons. Do not underestimate anyone inside that facility. What if they activate subjects among our teams?" one agent asked. The fear we all carried but didn't want to voice. "We've screened everyone," Catherine said. "No one on this operation has visited any of the suspected modification clinics. We're as clean as we can be." "But you can't be sure," the agent pressed. "No," Catherine admitted. "We can't. So everyone watches everyone. You see something wrong, you report it immediately. Clear." Grim nods around the deck. The Coast Guard cutter anchored half a mile offshore. We transferred to inflatable boats and motored quietly toward the island. No lights, no communication. Radio silence until the breach. We hit the beach at midnight exactly. 3 teams, moving fast and silent through the darkness. The estate loomed ahead, modern architecture, all glass and steel, lit from within. Through the windows, I could see people moving. The meeting was still in progress. Catherine's voice crackled over the tactical radio. "All teams in position. Breach in 30 seconds. Sarah checked her weapon. I checked mine. Around us, FBI agents prepared for what might be the most important operation of their careers. "Frank," Sarah said quietly, "if this goes bad." "It won't. But if it does, if they activate subjects, if this becomes a massacre, then we fight our way out like we always do. Save number 19 and counting." She smiled despite the tension. "You're assuming I'm saving you this time." "You always do." "Breach in 10 seconds, Catherine's voice. We moved the doors. Charges set. Weapons ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breach. The charges blew. We poured into the estate. The main living area was exactly as Webb had described. 30 people, most in expensive suits, sitting around a conference table covered in documents and laptops. They looked up as we entered, and not a single one looked surprised. "FBI!" Catherine shouted. "Everyone on the ground! Now!" No one moved. A woman at the head of the table stood slowly. She was maybe 50, silver hair, expensive jewelry, and eyes that radiated cold intelligence. "Deputy Director Walsh," she said calmly. "Right on schedule. Please, come in. We've been expecting you." "On the ground," Catherine repeated. "This is your last warning." "Or what? You'll shoot 30 unarmed people having a business meeting?" The woman smiled. "I don't think so. You're law enforcement. You follow rules. You're under arrest for conspiracy to commit crimes against humanity." "Are we? What crimes, exactly? Having a meeting? Discussing business ventures?" "I'm afraid you'll find we're not breaking any laws. Deputy Director," I stepped forward, "you're the Prometheus Circle. You're planning to replace humanity with genetically modified subjects." "Planning? Such a strong word. We prefer guiding human evolution." She gestured to the others at the table. "We represent some of the most brilliant minds and powerful resources on Earth. Together, we've developed a pathway to improve humanity, to eliminate disease, enhance capabilities, create a better future. By turning people into remote-controlled puppets," Sarah said, "by offering them enhancements they desperately want. Strength, intelligence, health. We're not forcing anyone. We're providing options. You're providing lies." I said, "Your free health clinics don't tell people they're being genetically modified. You hide the 50% mortality rate. You don't mention the neural control chips." Details. The subject signed consent forms. Consent forms that bury the truth in legal jargon no one reads. The woman's smile didn't waver. Sounds like standard medical practice to me. How many pharmaceutical trials hide side effects in fine print? How many tech companies bury privacy violations in user agreements? We're simply following established business models. "This isn't business," Catherine said. "This is terrorism." Terrorism implies we're trying to instill fear. We're trying to offer hope, a better humanity, a controlled evolution away from the chaos and violence of natural human society. "Who are you?" I demanded. "Dr. Victoria Chen, geneticist, former researcher at the CDC. And yes, before you ask, related to the Chen family who lost their daughter to the original Chrysalis trials. Emma Reeves was my niece." The room tilted. "You're doing this because of what happened to Emma?" "I'm doing this because Emma's death showed me the potential of genetic modification. The modifications worked, Mr. Murray. For 3 months, a dying child became healthy and strong. Yes, the protocols were imperfect. Yes, subjects died. But the proof of concept was sound. With refinement, with better protocols, we could save millions." "Or kill them," Sarah said. 50% mortality rate sounds terrible until you compare it to the alternative. Cancer has a 100% mortality rate without treatment. Stage 4 diseases kill almost everyone. We're offering people a chance. Even if it's only 50-50, that's better than certain death." "What about the people who aren't dying?" I asked. "The healthy people you're modifying through the clinics?" "We offer them enhancement, better health, stronger immune systems. The modifications give them advantages they could never achieve naturally. And neural control? A safety feature, to prevent enhanced subjects from becoming threats. Think of it as a..." She trailed off as one of her colleagues touched her arm and whispered something. Her expression changed. "It seems we have a problem," she said, pulling out a phone. "Dr. Holloway was supposed to check in 10 minutes ago. He's not responding." Catherine's radio crackled. "Team 2 reporting. Underground level secure. We found laboratories and..." A pause. "Deputy Director, you need to see this." "What did you find?" "Test subjects. Dozens of them, all in various stages of modification." Victoria Chen's face went pale. "No, Holloway wasn't supposed to bring subjects here. This was just a planning meeting." "Looks like your colleague had other ideas," I said. She started typing on her phone. "Holloway? Marcus? Respond immediately." No response. Then the lights went out. Emergency lighting kicked in, bathing everything in red. Alarms started wailing. And somewhere in the building, doors began slamming shut. "Lockdown protocol," Victoria said, her professional composure cracking. "Someone's triggered the facility security system." "Who?" Catherine demanded. I don't know. The system was supposed to be disabled for the meeting. My phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. Hello, Frank. Richard Pemberton's voice, calm and amused. I hope you're enjoying the Prometheus Circle meeting. Pemberton, where are you? Watching. Always watching. You've done excellent work. Frank, dismantling my empire, exposing the Chrysalis protocols, turning my colleagues against each other. I'm genuinely impressed. If you're so impressed, why activate the lockdown? Because Victoria and her Prometheus Circle were never the real threat. They're scientists playing at being revolutionaries. Earnest, naive. They actually believe they're saving humanity. He laughed. I let them think they were in charge. Let them gather resources and recruit subjects. Let them build the infrastructure. But Frank, I've always been running the real operation. Around us, the Prometheus Circle members were panicking, trying their phones and laptops, finding all communications jammed. What operation? I asked. The Convergence, but not the version Victoria planned. A slow, careful replacement of humanity over decades. No, I'm talking about the real Convergence. Immediate, global, simultaneous activation of all 23,000 modified subjects across 40 countries, all at once, create enough chaos to shatter civilization while my people step in and take control. You're insane. I'm practical. Humanity is broken, Frank, corrupt, violent, inefficient. The Prometheus Circle wanted to guide evolution gradually. I prefer revolution. Tear down the old, build the new from scratch. You'll kill thousands of people. Millions, probably. The modified subjects will attack, be killed or subdued, and their deaths will demonstrate the threat. Governments will panic. Martial law, authoritarian crackdowns. And in the chaos, my people, the ones who aren't modified, the ones who know the plan, will offer solutions. Security, control, order. A coup. A new world order. With me at the top, of course. I may have lost my empire, Frank, but I've gained something better. A reset button for human civilization. We'll stop you. Will you? You're trapped in a facility that's about to become a tomb. The underground levels are flooding with nerve gas. The test subjects down there will be dead in minutes. And the Prometheus Circle, well, let's just say I made sure they can't interfere. Victoria Chen screamed. I turned to see her collapse, clutching her chest. Around the room, other Prometheus Circle members were falling, seizing, bleeding from their noses and ears. What did you do? I shouted into the phone. Activated their modifications, Pemberton said. Didn't Victoria mention? Every member of the Prometheus Circle took the enhancements, willing test subjects, showing their faith in the process. They just didn't know I'd installed my own neural control protocols in their modifications. Termination command activated. They'll all be dead in 90 seconds. Catherine's teams were trying to help the dying Prometheus Circle members, but there was nothing they could do. Brain hemorrhages. The same termination protocol vein had used on Emma Reeves. You killed your own people, I said. I killed competition. Victoria wanted to guide humanity. I want to own it. There's a difference. Pemberton's voice hardened. Now, Frank, let me explain what happens next. In 10 minutes, the facility's self-destruct sequence activates. The building will be reduced to rubble, destroying all evidence of the Prometheus Circle's planning. You and everyone inside will die. The FBI knows about your operation. Killing us doesn't stop the investigation. No, but it removes the people who know too much. And by the time authorities sort through the rubble, the convergence will have already happened. 23,000 activated subjects. Global chaos. The reset I've been planning. Where are you, Pemberton? Far away. Safe. Watching via security cameras. I wanted to see your face when you realized you'd lost. A pause. Goodbye, Frank. You were a worthy adversary. I'll remember you fondly when I'm rebuilding civilization. The line went dead. Everyone out. Catherine shouted. Buildings rigged to explode. We ran for the exits. The doors we'd breached were sealed shut. Emergency exits locked. Windows, reinforced glass that wouldn't break. We're trapped, one agent said, panic rising. There has to be another way out, Sarah said. Vents, maintenance access, something. Team 2, what's your status? Catherine radioed to the team in the underground levels. Static. Then gas in the vents, subjects all dead, can't breathe. The transmission cut off. They're gone, Catherine said grimly. Gas is spreading through the ventilation system. It'll reach this level in minutes. Around us, the Prometheus Circle members were dead. 30 brilliant, wealthy, powerful people who thought they were controlling evolution, killed by the man they thought was their partner. Victoria Chen was the last to die. She grabbed my arm with her last strength. Stop him, she whispered. Not for US, for Emma, for all the children. Then she was gone. I looked at Sarah, at Catherine, at 60 FBI agents trapped in a building that was going to explode in 9 minutes. There's always a way out, I said. Pemberton's arrogant. He wants to watch us die. That means security cameras. Sarah finished. If he's watching, there's a feed, a connection. Miles. I pulled out my phone. Still had signals somehow. Pemberton wanted us to call for help that wouldn't come. Miles. The facility is rigged to explode. We're trapped. Can you hack the security system? Already on it. Miles said, typing frantically. I intercepted Pemberton's connection to the facility. He's watching from, oh no. What? He's on a yacht, 50 miles offshore. He's been coordinating everything remotely. Can you override the lockdown? The system's got multiple redundancies. I can maybe get you one exit, but it'll take time. How much time? 8 minutes. The building explodes in 9. Then I better work fast. I looked at Catherine. Miles can get us one exit. We need to get everyone there, fast. Where? Miles, which door can you unlock? South side emergency exit. But Frank, it's not a door, it's a hatch. Leads to a cliff face. 50-foot drop to the ocean. I remember the geography. The estate was built on the western cliffs. A drop to the ocean below. Better than nerve gas and explosions, I said. Everyone to the south side. Now! We ran through the facility. The emergency lighting made everything look like a nightmare. Red shadows, blaring alarms, smoke starting to seep from the vents. We found the hatch. Still locked. Miles! Working on it. The lockdown protocol is military grade. Give me 6 minutes. We have 7 until explosion. Then I have 6 minutes. Time crawled. Around me, FBI agents waited with weapons ready, watching the vents for gas, listening for any sound that might mean the self-destruct was accelerating. Sarah stood beside me, hand in mine. If Miles can't do it, he'll do it. But if he can't, Frank, I just want you to know, don't. We're not dying here. We're walking out, going home, and Mrs. Chen is making us dumplings. That's what's happening. She smiled. Okay, dumplings. I can do this for dumplings. 5 minutes to explosion, Catherine said. Miles! I called into the phone. Almost there. This encryption is insane, but I've got... Yes, unlocking now. The hatch clicked, swung open. Beyond it, a metal ladder leading down the cliff face to rocks and ocean below. Go! Catherine ordered. Everyone out. Agents started descending the ladder. Fast but careful. One slip meant a 50-foot fall. The Coast Guard cutter was already moving closer, responding to Catherine's emergency call. Sarah went. Then Catherine. Agents filing down one by one while the countdown ticked in my head. I was the last one in the facility. Everyone else was on a ladder or already swimming toward the cutter. Frank, come on. Sarah shouted from below. I took one last look at the facility, at the dead members of the Prometheus Circle, at Victoria Chen's body. Then I climbed down. I was 20 feet from the bottom when the facility exploded. The blast wave hit like a physical force. I lost my grip on the ladder, fell. The ocean rushed up at me. I hit hard. The breath knocked from my lungs. Went under, kicked desperately for the surface, broke through gasping, debris raining down around me. The facility above was a fireball, chunks of glass and steel falling like meteors. Frank, Sarah swimming toward me. I tried to respond, but a piece of debris clipped my head. Everything went blurry, dark. I felt hands grab me, pull me, voices shouting. Then nothing. I woke in a Coast Guard medical bay. Sarah sat beside me, wrapped in a thermal blanket, looking exhausted and furious and relieved all at once. "About time," she said. "You were out for 20 minutes. Did everyone make it?" 58 out of 60. 2 agents didn't make it off the cliff in time. Her voice cracked. 2 good people dead because Pemberton wanted to watch us die. I sat up despite my pounding headache. The Convergence. Did he activate the subjects? Catherine's checking now. But Frank, even if he did, we have protocols. 23,000 activated subjects sounds terrifying, but they're spread across 40 countries. Local law enforcement can handle isolated incidents. Unless it's not isolated. Unless they coordinate. My phone buzzed. Text from Miles, monitoring global news feeds. Multiple violent incidents reported across 15 countries, all matching the activation profile. "He did it," I said. "Pemberton activated them all." Catherine entered the medical bay, looking grim. "I've been coordinating with FBI offices worldwide. We're seeing activation events on every continent. Thousands of modified subjects becoming violent simultaneously. But Frank, most are being subdued quickly. Local police, military forces, they're responding. The death toll is rising, but it's not the apocalypse Pemberton wanted. Because we warned people," I said. "The clinics were shut down. Subjects were identified. Law enforcement was prepared." "Partially. We identified maybe 10% of the modified subjects before tonight. The rest are still out there, activated but overwhelmed by response forces." "What's the casualty count?" She hesitated. 437 dead. 2,000 wounded. Numbers still climbing. I closed my eyes. 437 people dead because we couldn't stop Pemberton fast enough. Frank, without your investigation, without the Prometheus Circle's files, we wouldn't have known any of this was coming, Catherine said. The death toll could have been 10 times higher, 100 times higher. You saved lives today. Doesn't feel like it. I know. It never does. Over the next 48 hours, the Convergence unfolded across the globe. 23,000 activated subjects. Most were quickly subdued. The modifications made them stronger and faster, but they were still human. Police and military forces overwhelmed them, but the damage was done. Hundreds dead, thousands injured, and in the chaos, Pemberton's prediction came true. Governments panicked. Martial law was declared in 6 countries. Emergency powers invoked. Authoritarian crackdowns in the name of security. The reset he'd wanted. Not complete, but enough to destabilize civilization. And Pemberton himself? Gone. The yacht Miles had tracked disappeared somewhere in the Pacific. No trace. No signal. The man who'd orchestrated everything had vanished again. Daniel Webb, true to form, disappeared the moment we were clear of the facility. His immunity deal became worthless when he ran. Catherine put out warrants, but we all knew he'd find a way to avoid capture. He always did. Marcus Vane remained in the wind. After the Convergence activation, he went silent. No communications. No sightings. Either dead or deep underground. Dr. Marcus Holloway's body was found in the underground levels of the Catalina facility, killed by the nerve gas Pemberton had released. Even his own scientists hadn't been spared. I spent a week giving testimony. Congressional hearings. FBI depositions. UN investigators. Everyone wanted to know how a conspiracy this big had operated for so long without detection. The answer was simple. Money and power. The Prometheus Circle had both in abundance. They'd corrupted systems, bought protection, and hidden in plain sight. But in the end, they died just like everyone else. Victims of the monster they thought they controlled. Ambassador Chen Wei's daughters visited me one afternoon. Both were still alive, still fighting the modifications that had been forced on them. The treatments Amanda Foster had developed were helping. Maybe they'd be among the 50% who survived. Our father died trying to stop this, the older daughter said. Did it matter? Did his death change anything? Yes, I said. The files he found in the La Jolla facility helped us identify the Prometheus Circle. Without that information, we might never have tracked him to Catalina. Your father's sacrifice saved lives. He always wanted to do the right thing, the younger daughter said softly, even when it cost everything. After they left, Sarah found me staring out the window of our office. You okay? She asked, thinking about all the people who died. Victoria Chen, Ambassador Chen Wei, the FBI agents, the 437 people killed during the Convergence, all dead because we couldn't stop Pemberton. We stopped his empire. We exposed the conspiracy. We saved thousands who would have died if the Convergence had succeeded completely. But Pemberton's still out there, still planning, still winning. She pulled me close. He's not winning, Frank. He's running. There's a difference. Every asset he had is gone. Every facility shut down. Every ally dead or arrested. He's alone now, with the entire world hunting him. He'll rebuild. He always does. Then we'll stop him again, however many times it takes. I looked at her. You're not tired of this? Of chasing the same villains, fighting the same battles? I'm exhausted, she admitted, but I'm not giving up, because someone has to fight. And if not us, then who? The same words I'd said to her before. Throw 'em back at me. When did you get so wise? I asked. Married a stubborn detective who won't quit even when the odds are impossible. Had to learn his philosophy. Despite everything, I smiled. That night, we had dinner at Chen's Golden Dragon. Mrs. Chen brought extra egg rolls without being asked. You two look terrible, she announced. Too much fighting. Too much danger. Just another case, I said. Another case that almost killed you. How many times must I tell you to be careful? At least once more, Sarah said. He doesn't listen. Detective the cat watched us from his usual perch, green eyes full of feline judgment. The cat hates me, I said. The cat knows you almost died on a cliff, Mrs. Chen said. Cats are smart. We ate in comfortable silence. The restaurant was busy, regular people having regular dinners, unaware of how close they'd come to living in Pemberton's new world order. Back in our apartment, Sarah and I collapsed on the couch. Save number 19, I said. You pulled me out of the water after the explosion. Actually, that was a Coast Guard rescue swimmer. But I'll take credit anyway. Save number 19. You're going to lord this over me forever, aren't you? Forever and always. My phone rang. I almost didn't answer. Almost decided we deserved one night without cases or catastrophes. But I'm a PI. I always answer. Murray and Murray Investigations. Frank Murray speaking. Mr. Murray. Female voice, young professional. My name is Dr. Sarah Kim. I'm calling from South Korea. You don't know me, but my sister is Dr. Rachel Kim. She worked with you on the hospital murders case. Rachel Kim, the whistleblower who'd exposed Catherine Porter's mercy-killing operation, who'd given us Dr. Jennifer Lawson's name, starting the Chrysalis investigation. Dr. Kim, is your sister okay? Rachel is fine. But Mr. Murray, she told me to call you if anything unusual happened at my research facility. What kind of facility? Advanced Genetics Laboratory in Seoul. We do cutting-edge work in genetic modification and cellular engineering. Very legitimate, very regulated. But 3 days ago, we received a proposal from a new funding source, a company called Atlas Biomedical. My blood went cold. What do they want to fund? Human trials for genetic enhancement protocols. The proposal was incredibly detailed, professional. It promised unlimited resources for research that could revolutionize medicine. But Mr. Murray, she paused. The protocols and proposal are almost identical to the Project Chrysalis documents that were leaked in the news. Same techniques, same markers, same everything. Did you accept the proposal? No. I recognized the similarities and called Rachel. She told me to contact you immediately. Mr. Murray, whoever sent this proposal is trying to restart Project Chrysalis in South Korea, away from American oversight. And if they approached us, they probably approached other facilities worldwide. I looked at Sarah. She'd heard enough to know what was coming. Dr. Kim, Do you have the proposal documents? Everything. I can send them to you. Do that. And Dr. Kim, be careful. The people behind Chrysalis have killed hundreds. They won't hesitate to silence anyone who threatens their work. I understand. Mr. Murray, can you stop them? I thought about Pemberton somewhere in the Pacific, about the Prometheus Circle dead on Catalina Island, about 23,000 modified subjects, and 437 dead. We can try, I said. After I hung up, Sarah and I sat in silence for a long moment. It's starting again, she said quietly. Yeah. Pemberton's trying to rebuild. New facilities. New countries. New name, same nightmare. We'll stop him. Will we? Frank, we've been chasing him for an entire season. We've dismantled his empire 3 times, and he keeps coming back. Then we keep stopping him, however many times it takes. That could be forever. Then we fight forever. She looked at me, and I saw the same exhaustion I felt, the same determination, the same stubborn refusal to quit even when the odds were impossible. Okay, she said finally, we fight forever. But Frank, yeah. Next time Pemberton calls, you're letting it go to voicemail. I laughed despite everything. Deal. The name's Frank Murray, private investigator, 16 years in this business, and I just survived the biggest case of my career. Stopped a conspiracy to replace humanity, saved thousands of lives, lost hundreds more, and somewhere out there, Richard Pemberton was already planning his next move. But that's a problem for tomorrow. Tonight, I was going to sit with my wife, eat Mrs. Chen's egg rolls, and pretend we were normal people with normal lives. Tomorrow, we'd go back to war. But tonight we'd earn some peace, even if it wouldn't last. Thank you for watching Frank Murray Season 2. If you enjoyed the season finale, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Season 3 is coming, and the fight against Richard Pemberton and the Chrysalis conspiracy continues. Frank and Sarah have won battles, but the war is far from over. Next season, new countries, new facilities, new allies and new enemies. The hunt for Pemberton goes global. And Frank Murray will discover that some conspiracies are bigger than one man. They're movements that can't be stopped, only fought. Ring that notification bell so you're alerted when Season 3, Episode 1 drops. The story continues. The fight goes on. And Frank and Sarah Murray aren't giving up. See you next season. Investigators. Murray and Murray Investigations. Some cases haunt you. Some cases change you. And some cases never really end. Season 2, complete. Season 3, coming soon.